Specialized Epic 2021 Epic Hardtail. Size large, weighs in at 25 pounds, 8 ounces, 11.55 kilos. This is with Shimano SLX. It is not tubeless either. It has tubes inside of it. Stay tuned to after the video where you hear a freeheld body sound test on that rear wheel right there. Thank you, buddy. Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is GC Performance here, back with another video. Today I have for you guys the brand new 2021 Specialized Epic Hardtail. This is their base model for the Hardtail, for the Epic series. Retail on is $2,200. This is a size large and it weighed in at 25 pounds, 8 ounces. Basically, the reason why I want to talk about this bike, they completely redesigned the frame of it. As you can tell before and in previous years on the other models, they used to make them super lightweight, super aggressive. The fork used to be tucked more in, but that came with a very rigid and very, like they said, teeth jattering type of ride. So they're cutting corners to make it as light as possible. So they make the frame really thin. They put the lightest fork they can put on there with the smallest amount of travel, the skinniest wheels with the skinniest tires. And what would happen is that over the years, people were riding it. Yes, it's a very fast, aggressive XC bike, but it would limit you to what kind of single track trails you can ride. Let's say you're riding in the park, there might be some drops you couldn't do because of the fact that you were so stacked over the front and the end and have less rake on here. Let's say that fork, instead of going right there, it's going more here. You know, it just limits you to what you can hit. So that being said, over the years they redesigned the bike and they wanted to make it to a point where not only could you have a badass XC hardtail that could go fast, be very lightweight, like this frame I think in its category is one of the lightest frames out for a hardtail bike. In terms of model, like comp model to comp model and different brands, S-Works, Top Line and other brands. But they wanted to make also something that you could take on every single trail, and they realized that that they already made the bikes super fast and so fast enough that they realized that the only next step they could do is make the bike more comfortable to make it to a point where maybe, hey, your body is being able to ride longer, or it doesn't take that big of a beating, so you're fresher throughout the ride. And that's where they really came in with this bike. So without further ado, I'll show off the model, I'll show off all the specs on the bike, and we'll go from there. So this is a Epic Hardtail. This is a full carbon fiber frame. The Epics now don't come in aluminum. The starting price on this bike is $2,200, and you can only get an Epic Hardtail and a carbon frame. If you want an aluminum version, you have to go with like something with like the Specialized Chisel, which is something I showed off on the channel previously before. This is their raspberry color. On the Specialized website, it's much more red looking in my eyes. This, you can kind of tell this is much more purplish berry. It's definitely more berry in the color. The logo is a white. It's a gloss white. You have the gloss white over there. But you can tell from an XC hardtail from 4 or 5 years ago, this thing has much bigger of a rake on there. This bike is also capable of running a dropper post in there, so if you did want to take on some single tracks with some drops, you have the capabilities too. So starting off with the handlebars, we have a Specialized alloy handlebar, 31.8, aluminum bar. You have the Shimano M6100 brakes, hydraulic disc brakes. They're mineral oil, work fantastic. Shimano makes great cross-country brakes for every kind of brake. Mineral oil is great. You have a Shimano SLX shifter in here. Again, I don't know if you guys have heard me rave about this, but I love the Shimano SLX base model shifters. The SLX, the XT, they make it great. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, I had a motorcycle. But I'm a huge fan of the XT. I'm not a big fan of the XTR, but this SLX they came out with, buttery smooth. 12-speed shifter right there. It is a thumb shifter. They give you lock-on Specialized grips. Look great. You can adjust them with a 3mm bolt right there, so if you want to angle them differently, you have that option too. Specialized stem, 31.8. This is a 70mm, and this is a size large, so remember that. On this bike, we do have this slammed as well, so the stack on here, if you buy this bike stock, it usually would come with 2 or 3 spaces right here, so keep that in mind. Going to this side, you have the other Shimano brake for the front, and then the Specialized lock-on grip. Going down to the fork, you have a RockShox Judy. This is 100mm of travel. You do have a lockout right here that you can control with your hand. So you can actually also have a little bit of a notches if you don't want to make it full lockout. You have those little individual clicks, boom, 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 all the way to full lockout. It is a through axle. It's a 15 by 110, 15mm by 110 through axle. And it is an air shock. So if you do buy this bike, you can set it to your own custom air. And you have a shock chart right there that you can you have a shock chart right there that will tell you your weight. So that way, if you ever do want to go different out, dude, is this a windstorm? The fuck, man, God. Yeah, so you do have a shock trailer there. This is a blend bike, so if you guys have heard me talk before in the other videos, sometimes we do get good deals on blemished bikes. What that means is that they're either photo bikes that they have inside their warehouses, that sometimes something happens to them. So like you see here on this fork, I think this is just like really strong adhesive. We could probably get that off, but that's what I mean by blend bikes. There'll be small little blemishes on the bike. Now we get these bikes and we're able to sell. Also with the steer being cut. This is a brand new bike, but it has a blemish on there. So that's what I mean. So RockShox Judy front fork. You have a Shimano center lock disc brake on here, nothing crazy. The wheels are going to be a, what wheels are these? Give me a second. I don't see anything on here, any kind of indication. So just an alloy rim by Specialized, probably an Axis rim. It does have a Shimano front free hub body on there, which is very nice. Tires on here are going to be a Fast Track Control 29 by 2.3. Holy cow. It's not the S-Works tires, it is the controls. Benefit to being that it's a control tire, you do have stronger sidewalls that won't take a beating as much. These wheels are tubeless ready. So you do have that ability to make them tubeless. You just have to take out the tubes, go ahead and put the valves that they equip with you in there, get some sealant. Tires are tubeless ready, you're good to go. On these forks, you do have a rebound adjustment right here. You can see they have a little turtle right there and the rabbit on the other side. You can adjust the rebound if you want to make the shock rebound quicker or slower depending on your terrain. New Epic Hardtail does have a much bigger rake on there. We're going down to the bottom. This is a threaded bottom bracket now. You have a Shimano crank on the front. I believe it comes with a 32-tooth chain ring on there. You have a Shimano 12-speed chain, and then a Shimano SLX cassette on here on the back. It's a 10 by 51 tooth, a lot of gearing on there. And then you have their SLX rear derailleur for 12-speed with the little shadow clutch right here. What this does is when it's down, you're gonna get much smoother shifts, but this is gonna bounce around a lot more. So maybe you're riding on some XC road or maybe some dirt and it doesn't bounce around as much, so you want that smoother shift. You can do that, or you can pop up this clutch. It'll make this cage a little bit stiffer and the shift clicks will be a little bit harder, but the cage won't bounce around. So if you are riding like a heavy single track, that way that cage isn't jumping around to drop chain, which is good. It is Fact Carbon 11M on here, so this is a carbon fiber frame. You have 3 different water ball positions right here, so if you want to put a water ball cage up here, you can. If you want to put it down here for a little bit easier accessibility, or you can put it here and then add a SWAT tool right there as well. You do have the double bottle cage bolts over here as well, so you have a lot of sources for hydration. Again, like I said, it's threaded bottom bracket, and you just have a regular Shimano BB on here. You have your Epic logo on the rear right there, your Specialized logo right there in the rear as well. This is a 12 by 148 through axle, so it's a boost spacing mountain bike. Again, like I said, you can run a dropper post if you like. You have a Specialized alloy seat post right here, and then a power comp or sport saddle. Retail on $60. They don't actually sell this aftermarket though. You have the little cutout right here. Nice saddles. Powers are great saddles. Nothing bad to say about them. Alloy rims. Again, I don't know the exact rims. Probably just an Axis rim. Shimano free body in the back. So that's a nice, and stay tuned to after the video to hear a free body sound test on this thing as well. You have a Fast Track Control 29 by 2.3. Again, they're going with these wide tires to give you better grip, so when you do go into corners, you're going to get more secure feeling, so you're able to go in the corners with better speed, have that better control, and get out them quicker, whereas when you run very thin tires and less knobs, maybe you might not have the control or the confidence going into the corners, so you might slow down much more and come out and have to accelerate quicker. So the main thing about getting through corners, you want to carry that speed as quick as you can out of it, and without reducing and burning yourself out to get it back up to speed. So that's why you're seeing more and more people go with a wider tread tire on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered everything on it. I think this is a really cool bike, definitely for entry level. This is a bike that if you want to compete in races, maybe do a couple races around the city, maybe some local races you know about, or if you want just to get in some single track and maybe you don't want a full suspension, you want to do some lap times or whatever, you have the capability of doing that. With the bigger rake on this fork as well, you're able to go off bigger drops, go down bigger hills, maybe not get stuck at some roots or rocks. It's going to be able to handle the trail much easier. So keep that in mind, but a very fun bike, especially if you put a dropper post on there, that'd be a cool feature. But you can see with the all new Specialized Epic Hardtail, they definitely redesigned it to be a lot more slacked and more comfortable for the rider, which is going to entail make you less fatigued and be able to ride for longer. So thank you guys again for everything, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye. Specialized Epic Hardtail 2021. This is the $2,200 model. This is the starting price point for the Epic. Here comes a free body sound test right now with a Shimano free body in there. Thank you guys so much.